Jean-Pierre Pilato de Rosier shall volunteer to go. Well, luckily he was friends with the Queen, and it was Jean-Pierre Pilato de Rosier. And so luckily he was friends with the Queen. She kind of nudged the king. He's like, all right, you can let this guy go. So, but he needed another guy to balance it out. So the Marquis d'Arlange joined him. And so, in November of 1783, they took to the skies from the Champs de Mars, which is actually where the Eiffel Tower is now. And Ben Franklin was there to watch, and they had a roaring fire with old shoes and rotting meat. It was such a bad stench that the Queen actually passed out. Had to be taken from the area, but it took off, and it was a safe flight, and it was just wonderful. Well, ballooning fever by this time had just completely gripped all of Paris.
Oh man!
And there was another, but they could treat that, a little aspirin. There was another guy, Professor Charles, Jacques Charles, and he was experimenting with hydrogen balloons. And he had a basket under his, and he just let it take off unmanned, and it flew about 10 miles outside of Paris. And came down in this village by this farmhouse, and nobody there was expecting this thing. All they know is there's an orb coming from the sky. Well, they thought, of course, it was aliens, and they attacked it with pitchforks and knives and swords and shredded it. When the tattered remains were shipped back to Paris, and Professor Charles got them, he's like, I'm not so sure I want to go flying if that's the way I'm going to be treated. I must come up with a means where I can convince them that I am not an alien, that I am a person of goodwill. And that is why all balloonists carry with them champagne to show that, hey, don't kill us, we can drink. And that usually works. So, of course, being a predominantly Albuquerque crew, we use Gruet champagne, or sparkling wine method champenois, which is damn good stuff, brewed right in Albuquerque. So, modern ballooning really took off in the 60s and 70s. And
engineers got involved.
There were a lot of engineers and statisticians. They were trying to figure out what made it safer and what made it less safe. And what they found was there was a tremendous correlation between the crew catching the cork and the next landing being gentle.
By the way, they all failed statistically.
So fortunately,